Kim here, and today we are going to start marketing our website. Now, even though I only have 3 posts currently published, I'm working on some ones in draft, and we might as well start marketing to the ones that we have. So the one that I did the first time that I showed you a couple videos ago is that it's got like 26,000 words in it, and there's a ton of different sections. So I'm going to use that to show you that you can basically market to the same post over and over and over again. And I'll link to that original video. So if you want to see how to do the internal linking to that post, you can. So they're like little tags that you add in there. So it'll make more sense when we go through that. All right, let's go into Pinterest. So right now I'm in Pinterest. I actually created an entire email specifically for Pinterest. So I'm going to see what happens if I say continue. So say sign up, and then it's going to ask you for your detail. And I'm going to create a business account, but we'll see when we get to that point. So welcome to Pinterest, and we just hit next, and then go through the questions. This is a little bit different. I haven't done one in a while, so it's a little bit different than what it used to be. So most of this stuff is auto detected, and let's see here. You have to pick, says you have to pick 5 of these to continue on. So animals are cute. Let's do braids because I have long hair. Okay, so now it's going through, assuming I've never been this before. So they're adding new feeds. So now I can go through and look at anything that I want to. I am doing it for business purposes. So I'm going to go to edit profile, and I'm going to make sure that I have stuff in here. For now, I'm going to go ahead and choose a photo, and it's going to be the logo, assuming I can find it, right here. So that matches the website, so it's pretty consistent. And then first name, last name. I'm not going to worry too much about this right now, because I might have to redo it once I change to a business account. It's still thinking on it. I'm going to come back to it. So it's convert to business is right here. So I'm going to say convert to business. They may have new requirements, so that's why we're going through this, right? I'm going really slow, probably because I'm recording, because that's the way it goes. Every time I record, my computer cannot handle it. I'm just recording. I'll be back. I would like to say my dramatic sigh worked, but it took me 20 minutes to get this fixed. Had to reset the internet, had to reset the recording thing. Anyway, so this is when I'm converting it to the business, right? So I had to refresh the page a couple times. Finally came up, I said select business. So now you want to describe your business. So I am not an online merchant or marketplace yet. Consumer goods, services provider, content creator, I am. And then it says publisher, media, agency, or other. So content creator, I am. So next, business name is going to be Eason Disaster Prep. And then the website is Eason Disaster Prep Doc. Then you select business goals. I want to drive traffic to my site. You can select up to 3, and that's pretty much all I want to do right now. What's the focus of your brand? This will be interesting. I guess education. Going faster than it was before. So where would you like to start? So WordPress, measure ad performance. Install the WordPress Pixel Your Site plugin to track conversion events and understand your best performing ad. No. Grow your audience. Create an ad to create. I don't want to do an ad. Showcase your brand. To help people on Pinterest get to know your brand by adding your picture, location, helpful information. So build your profile. And say next. We will be installing the pixel and everything else. It's just not for ads. So, and then I guess if we must, this is HTTPS. Email address, I'll worry about that in a little bit. country code. I don't actually want my phone number on here. I don't want to include a retail location. So I'll come back and add my email address in a bit. I'm surprised I don't have it. But I'm going to save that. And then if I want to, I can go through everything and make sure that I have everything set up. So if I want to make my profile private, I could. But for the most part, we are going to eventually claim, and we could probably claim the website now. So let's go ahead and claim it. This one it says add HTML tag, and you paste it in the head of your website. That hasn't always worked in the past. And so I don't know if it takes a while or what, but I've always done it this way where I've added it to the DNS record. Okay, so I'm going to pull up I'm going to go into Float Hosting. I'm going to pull up the DNS records. I'm going to show you how to do that. I'm back into the zone records, or the zone editor in the cPanel for easeanddisasterprep.com. And so I'm going to add a record, but I'm going to click on this and say a text record, just speeds up. And then Pinterest wanted me to okay, so it's just going to be an at one probably. So we're going to do, no, wrong domain. easeanddisasterprep.com. And then we'll leave it at 300, and then we're going to put that in there, and we're going to save the record. So it's already getting late. So I'm going to go ahead and leave that here after it finally saves. And I will test it tomorrow on Pinterest. So that way we can find out if it worked or not. And then I will continue with Pinterest. Okay, so while I'm recording this, it's the next day. It's over here. But I actually went back and said, submit or change or whatever, and clicked it, and it detected it immediately. So the website is claimed. Now, the important thing about claiming the website is that anybody who pins something from your website, it'll now have your Pinterest attachment to it, right? It'll say that it's to you, and then that it's claimed, so it credits you. Is that critical or not? I don't know. I mean, it might help. Who knows? So that's what we're going to do so far for Pinterest as far as the settings. We'll deal with additional settings another time. But now let's go back to your profile. And we have nothing saved, right? Well, if I want to save something, I have to have boards. So if you're unfamiliar with Pinterest, when you save something, you save it to a board. Now, historically, we have used, for search engine optimization purposes, we've used our boards and our pins to help define internally on Pinterest what people are searching for. So I'm going to do the plus. I'm going to say a board right here. Now you can create a pin, but you still need to create a board eventually. So I'm going to do disaster preparedness kit as one. And I'm going to, so I'm in the board right now. Now you can find pins on Pinterest and put them in your boards, but since this is for our website, I'm not too worried about that. And I would much rather create pins for mine. In the past, I've talked about how there is a maximum number of pins each profile can have, and it's questionable on whether that's accurate or not, because there are accounts that are business accounts that go beyond the maximum number of pins. The way I'm seeing it right now is that Pinterest currently doesn't charge for business accounts, but it looks like they're setting this up so that in the future, it may have a charge for business accounts. So I suspect that's why it's kind of like unlimited, or appears unlimited right now. Who knows what they're going to do? Honestly, Pinterest has been kind of a mystery and kind of a difficult to predict since they went public. So we'll just use what we have right now and then adjust in the future. So I'm going to create 2 more boards. I'm going to do water storage for disaster preparedness. And then I'm also going to do one more board, and it's going to be water filtration and what did I say it was? Water filtration and purification for disaster responses. Nope. I'm going to say for disaster. This random sticky here. Okay. And then I'm going to create that one. Now you can create group boards and stuff, and we'll talk about that in another time. But for now, there seems to be no benefit to group boards unless you're in like an actual group and they can use that to help manage it. It's just the way Pinterest has changed a lot over the years. So we've created these. Now we want to create some pins, but I am actually going to do that in Canva. So let's hop over to Canva. Okay, so now we're in Canva, and I should let you guys know our power is supposedly out, but we're running on solar, so we'll see how long I go on this. Um, anyway, so I started an Untitled Design here, which is a Pinterest pin, but let me just show you here. If you say Pinterest, and you can even say Pinterest pin to narrow this down, they have carousel ad, Pinterest pin, and you're mostly looking for the size. So 1,000 by 1,500. Carousel ads should have like more than one, which we're not going to run ads right now. And that's not always just for a carousel ad. That's just if you want to make a carousel ad, they set this up for you. So Pinterest pin actually has more than this, but 1,000 by 1,500 is the one I obviously pick most of the time. And you can see that's this longer size here, right? So you can create a blank one, or you could try to use some of the templates. Now I have the pro version. I'm just going to do the blank template, and I'm going to say disaster preparedness kit. Actually, let's do water storage. Now, most of the time, I'm titling this just for my own purposes because hold on, I did uploads because it's not even here anymore. There it is. Okay. I titled this so that I can find it later if I need to go into Canva and find it. Okay, so this section is redone because the first time it recorded, there was some sort of glitch and the video and the audio didn't match. So this section will not look the same. Like I'm going to show you a little bit more detail in this one than I did in the prior recording that you're not going to see, but it won't match exactly with the next section. I'm going to create a different pin here. So here, I wanted to show you that if you come in here from your main homepage and you say create a design, it opens up this box. You can type in Pinterest pin and you can see there are all different types of sizes. And like they have a video pin here and they have idea pin. And, these are all different ones that you can play with. Most of these are 1,000 by 1,500. That's my preferred size as well. You should test this though to see if you want square, try some square ones. They have some Pinterest video ads square. You don't have to make an ad. You can just use that and put it as a pin. This one's 1080 by 1920. Now, every time I've done those, Pinterest has told me it's too big and they have to make it smaller. So I don't know, but we could try that one. But I'm going to do my standard 1,000 by 1,500 Pinterest pin. I uploaded a video pin later and I'll show you. You can make, basically from the desktop, you can make a video pin or a standard pin. That's it. And it's just called a pin for the most part. If you want to do something like a collage or you want to do like multiple sections, you need to do that from the app. But I'm going to cover that in another video so you can see the differences. So in this case, we have a pin here. And I'm going to go into elements and I'm going to show you, actually, I'm going to show you the uploads for a second. So I uploaded these videos here. These videos these last two videos are from Pixabay. Now, Pixabay has free videos and images on there that you can use. I'm sure that they're somewhere on Pinterest, so they won't be super unique. So if you have your own video, that's better. Or if you compile something, or if you have an AI creator for video, that would be a great tool for that. Let's see here. So I'm gonna upload a file and I'm gonna see if I can find my disaster preparedness checklist one. It's not a real disaster preparedness checklist, but I want to use it as a background. So I'm going to just make this kind of bigger like this. And then try to fill up the sides too. And then I can position this if I want to. I can say position and I can say middle and center. I don't know that I want it in the middle. I'm actually going to probably push it down a little bit. And then I'm going to put a text on the top. Pick a different one. I don't like to use Canva Sans because everybody uses that by default. So since I have the Pro, I like to use the Pro, but you don't have to because there's plenty of people using all different sorts of ones on here. So it's not like, oh, you can't use a specific one. I don't like the ones that are difficult to read. This one's not great to read, but it's not horrible. So here I'm just going to make it so it's the same size here. And then if I want to make it bigger, I can just highlight it and then just make this bigger. Now, there's a just kind of a testing on this. I'm actually going to leave it white for a second, and I'm going to open up Canva again. I'm cheating on this one. You can do it a different way, but basically what I'm doing is I'm going to grab this logo here that I've already created. And in the prior recording, I tried to put this one with the no white background. Canva won't detect it and remove it. So instead, I'm going to put that in something else and try to make it so that it's removed. But I'm going to paste it into here. That's not right at all. Control C. Control V. Okay. There we go. And I'm going to put it down here as branded. And like I said, I'll probably end up adjusting this eventually. The point of Pinterest pins is to capture people's attention and get them to click, right? That is a testing game for you because unfortunately there is no, here's what you need to do. This is how you do it. Blah. There's nothing like that, right? There are plenty of you can do clickbait titles and stuff and everything, but you want to make sure people also stay when they get there. So for me, what I'm eventually going to do, and I show you this in the next section, is I'm going to create in the checklist, I'm going to create a link for the checklist, which is what this one's going to be. And then I'm going to do other ones where it's to each and every section, right? So I did a water one in the other video. And so let me show you, let me go ahead and download this one real quick. So we're going to say, so for your title, you're going to name this. Now your paragraph text, not super useful, right? There is a theory that Pinterest pins that have the title that have the keywords in it will have a better chance of being associated with that content inside Pinterest. Is that true or not anymore? I don't know. It used to work. We tested it before Pinterest went public. It was tested and almost everyone said, yes, that's what happened. So I say still do it. Also, you can title this so that you can find it later, right? So I'm going to say Eason disaster prep disaster kit checklist. Then I'm going to download this for me. You're not going to see this one loaded. You're going to see a different one loaded. So before I'm going to do JPEG just because it's a smaller one then. So I'm going to download it. And then it's downloaded. I'm going to go back to create a new design. So I'm going to close this one out. This is a little bit different than it used to be, so I'm still getting used to it. I still want a Pinterest pin. So I'm going to do 1000 by 1500. I'm going to show you can make this still a video one. Right, so we're going to go back to that those uploads that we had into the videos, and I kind of showed you this a little bit, but this is kind of what I did with the other one. So I want to put this where I can see it, and then I'm going to put a text overlay over it, which you can do an overlay within Pinterest. So if you have any type of video, you could just put it into Pinterest. You don't have to put it into Canva. But since I have Canva and I'm doing this all in here, like I can't take this video and stick it in there. It'll be the wrong size. So I put it in here to make it the right size. And then I could just download that video and then put it into Pinterest if I wanted to. I don't do that on the upload, so I'm going to show you what I did here. And then I'm going to, again, change this from Canvas Sans because I don't particularly like it. I kind of like Sunborn, actually. I want to do Sunborn. We're going to make it a lot bigger. And I'm going to move this up. I want to make sure they can tell that there's water in the background too, right? So I don't want to put too much behind it. And I don't know if I like that color per se, but I want something that still stands out. So this is just a matter of playing with this. And I think I like the blue better. So will you have water when disaster strikes? Get your water storage disaster tips. And then we're going to do, I closed Canva on the other one, didn't I? We're going to do that again on the same thing. And when I get it to the point where I like it, I'll just have that as a file that I can plug in there. So we're going to do that again. So that it's branded. And since I have space, I'm going to move this up. A lot of times the bottom spots will get covered up by things. So you just have to play with it. The corners are generally bad, but I put this up high enough that it should be fine. And then so now when it plays with the water in the background, and it's now a video one. And it's good to test different video, regular, just image pins and stuff like that, because it gives you the opportunity to see what works and what doesn't for your specific audience. Because your audience and my audience, even if they're the exact same audience, like even if we're both doing disaster preparedness, our accounts are going to have different algorithms for whatever reason. It's just, there is no standardization. It's just however Pinterest decides it's testing. And for whatever reason, that day that you posted your pin, you had more video views. And so now your account is flagged as, okay, video is better than, who knows, right? We don't know. So I'm going to download this one, and then I'm going to do this off screen. I'm going to download it, and then you just go into the next section. We're going to upload it into Pinterest. All right. So the next section will be a different pin, but it will now pick up where I am ending. So thanks. Okay, now we're going to go back into Pinterest, and I'm going to open up my downloads folder in the other screen. I'm just going to drag and drop it into here. And now we have, this is the actual pin. You can click it if you want to. They have an add text option here. I'm going to delete it because I already have text on here. So if you wanted to, and you had your own video, you could put that in there and just add the text over it anyway. So you don't have to use Canva. You can just do it all in Pinterest if you wanted to. So I'm going to say done, and then we're going to do a title. So water storage tips for disaster preparedness. Now, these are obviously keywords that go along with my website. And one of the benefits of this is that you also are telling external, so like Google, right? Google's going to be scanning these images at some point if they get indexed. Not all of them get indexed, but if they make it to a certain level, I guess they do. I do not know the factors in that. I just know if you go to images, you'll see some Pinterest pins. Those are definitely indexed because otherwise they wouldn't show up if they weren't. So to get indexed, we're going to talk about that in another video. But for this, when it does get indexed, we want to be able to show, oh, hey, yeah, we're being consistent with our keywords and our information, right? All right, so check out. And so will you water in when disaster strikes? Check out these water storage tips for your disaster preparedness kit. Now, interestingly, they used to tell you way back in the day, they used to tell you that only the first 50 characters counted. And I think even less of the title. So is that true anymore? I don't know. They don't tell you that anymore. Now, here's the link. So let's go over to, I don't actually need to get into the back end for this. I can just actually go to the website. Yes, I'm changing up. Though my logo wasn't showing up. That was interesting. So this is the disaster preparedness checklist. And this is what I wanted to show you. So in a prior video, I showed you how you can click on one of these and it'll jump to that section, right? Well, when you do that, you get this unique URL. I say unique, it's sort of unique, but it's for hashtag, it has hashtag water in it. So we're going to use that as the link. And so that one is going to be different than if I were to do one generally. And then the board, I'm going to put into water storage for disaster preparedness. And then they have topics. These are, see, they have disaster preparedness, thankfully, but these aren't for everything. Like you have to just try. So like if you hit A, you can try to find something, but it just depends. It just really depends on if they have it or not. And some stuff is in here, some stuff is not. So you have to just check. Mine's disaster preparedness. Let me see if I can do emergency. They have emergency kit, emergency supplies. And they said 3. There's 3 here. I wonder if that's all I can have. Let's see. Let's do emergency again. Emergency tools and kits. We'll just do that one too. Oh, okay, so I'm gonna do 4. So it doesn't. I don't know that you need to do a specific number of these, but that just helps kind of internally. And if you have products, you can do that. We've done that in a different video. I don't have any products. I'm not going to worry about it. If you want to schedule it, you can publish it at a later date. And then if you don't want to allow people to comment, and you don't want to show similar products, I do not want to show similar products just simply because I'm not promoting other people's stuff right now. So I'm going to say publish because I don't want to schedule it later. I just want to publish it and get it in there. And This is if I want to do the extension. So I can view the pin. I can just go back to my profile. Maybe. Created. So here we go. So this one is there. And then if I go to visit site, it should take me to the water section. So that's pretty cool, right? So I can literally do that for every single one of these because each one of these has its own URL. And I can put that in there. Is Pinterest going to consider that spammy? They shouldn't. And I wouldn't do it all at once in one day. I'd schedule it out. But as long as the image is different and the URL is different, it should be fine. Now, I'm going to test this, and if I run into problems, I'll let you know. But I don't anticipate problems doing it this way simply because I don't think that their system detects it unless it's exactly identical. And so that's what we're doing. So that is Pinterest, right? We've done Pinterest now. We're putting the pins in there. The only other thing that I think I might want to do is I might want to go to Publer and schedule stuff out. But because we're already pretty long on this video, I will do that actually have another video on that. So I will link to that in the description if you want to look at Publer, and that's a publishing tool. So you can schedule stuff out over a period of time. And yeah, so check that out in the description. I'll put it in the comment link too. And if you have questions on Pinterest, let me know because this is pretty straightforward. But I know for me, it's pretty straightforward because I've done it a billion times. So if there's something I'm missing, just let me know, or something that you notice that's different, just pop that in the comments. All right, see you next time.